Wow, that's great. So, sir, I mean, this is just a personal question from my end. What I have seen is that when new people are introduced to the industry, they're not
Yeah.
very well aware about the weighing industry. You know, they are aware about all the other industries that we supply to. And considering that weighing industry is like the mother industry, do you think that it's not marketed well, or why is the reason why people are not, especially the youngsters, not aware about the industry?
See, my spontaneous response is, it is only going to the rupee, naya paisa. You see, now today, for instance, people are looking, in which particular industry you are getting maximum money. So now they
Mm-hmm.
are talking about IT industry or they are talking about finance. Though the weighing, you take, if the parent is going to buy and weigh, sell weighing scale, there is very little margin.
Mm-hmm.
See, you cannot have, for instance, like in a stock market, somebody is investing, he can either go become very rich or he can, that they talk about Rakesh Junjunwala or, Warren Buffett. People are quite excited. Today you see the
Yes,
news, they are keeping on focusing only about Ambani or Adani or, whoever has made
exactly.
big money or whoever has cheated big money. So the whole orientation is only going towards, this type of finance oriented. It is not technology oriented. You see, in good old days, they said if you are in a commerce or industry or business, 1/6 you give it to the society. There is always the social values are always there. You are only a
Mm-hmm.
part, you are only a guardian of wealth. So
Mm-hmm.
even, in our organizations also, we allot a particular, only for charity or for social purpose. That means that God has given us this particular knowledge, our experience, whatever we are
Mm-hmm.
doing, it has to be benefiting the industry. After a particular level, the money does not do any value anymore. Your man cannot travel in two cars, they cannot live in two houses simultaneously. So
Yes.
he can impart his knowledge and experience, whatever he has gained back to society. There was one man called G.D. Naidu, in Coimbatore. He said, the first 25 years you will keep on learning,
Mm-hmm.
and the second 25 years you keep on yearning. So in the last 25 years, whatever you have learned and yearned in the 50 years, you give it back to the society. Which means
Wow.
one third of your life it has to be dedicated only to the society.
Society.
And if you take a weighing scale, the weighing scale, if you take one old book is an Egyptian book, they are showing on human body, human being with equal arms. It is like your
Okay.
equal arm scale, each
Mm-hmm.
arm is actually the
Mm-hmm.
arm of a human being. So it
Oh,
has to be balanced. That is why, even in the court also, judges, you are always seeing that the Nidhi,
yes, there is a
Devata,
yes.
that particular Dharma Devata is always shown as a person with
Um,
folded, eye fold, and it is equal justice is there. Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense, sir. And people should really not focus just about money, money, but they should also give it back to the society like you and your company does. And everybody that's pertaining to giving back to the society. That's actually very nice. And I would
At
love our readers to know more more about this.
at least it is a goal, at least we are aware or we are conscious about it. So we keep on trying, to achieve that goal. Yeah, yeah.
That's very sweet, sir. So, sir, like you have worked in the industry for a very long time. So there must have been a few, like every industry has its own problems. So there must be some peculiar problems, or there must be some challenges that when you face them, you will like, okay, this is something that I really need to sit down and think about it. So, what was the most troublesome challenge that you had, and what solution did you come up with for that?
So I really do not know I can go on air, by saying this, but government was always a big issue for us,
Mm-hmm.
because they were like, a partner. There were the
Mm-hmm.
government of, the Department of Legal Metrology, like in any other
Mm-hmm.
company. If you want to go and take a driving license, you are
Mm-hmm.
spending some money below the table also. So,
Yes.
like that, unfortunately, on one side, the Bureau of Indian Standards and Department of Legal Metrology, you see there is a book available.
Mm-hmm.
They are prescribing so many standards. They are talking about OIML, they are talking about PTP, they are talking
Mm-hmm.
about, from UK also. So
Mm-hmm.
you are having a global, Bible, I would say. When I went to
Mm-hmm.
Maryland, in USA, it is called National Institute of Being, there is a very big laboratory, where you are
Mm-hmm.
having, all the standards, are prescribed very clearly. So
Mm-hmm.
they say, for instance, if there is a 300 kg platform scale, it has to be tested with, let us say, 75 kg for each corner and the center, and full load must be there. And on the full load, there has to be a sensitivity, or they call it as accuracy and sensitivity. These are two different factors. So a very good quality scale manufacturer always talks about this. But then what happens, this knowledge is not even transferred, even maybe to some of the even people who are stamping those scales. So what they're thinking, they're, just taking the money and they're giving the stamping plug to the smith. They call it a person who is physically only, he will do the stamping. He will not know anything else about that sensitivities and corner errors and full load test, zero repeatability, load repeatability, and so on.
And
So he gives it, on a Saturday, the inspector is actually, in his home. Whereas this man is coming to the bazaar and he is stamping 100 scales. How do you like it? So this is something, even, you cannot do, because I am at the fag end of my, I would say, spectrum, and I am not directly exposed to these weights and measures every day in my trade. I am able to tell it so openly. Maybe had you asked this same interview with my nephew who is currently running the business, I think he would not have sold it so openly.
Could be the case, because he's directly dealing with it, and then
Yes,
he might
that
not
can
be
have
so
repercussions. That could have repercussions.
as far as the standardization of the industry is concerned.
See, from my point of view, each person should know his capabilities, capacities, and limitations. For instance, if a student is getting 45, 50 marks in maths, then he should not aim to become a maths professor or get 90 marks or something like that. Like that, if a company has certain particular product series, let us say for a particular market, it could be even a local market. He need not have to go to a different state also. If he is able to sell it within his 100 kilometers radius, and then he is able to call back if there is a product issue, then he is able to get back. So each person should know how much he can really deliver. To that extent, I think, in my opinion, otherwise, you see, if somebody is coming and telling, that means, then he has to invest on automation. He has to invest a lot of money on such type of production machineries. They say computer is as intelligent as the operator. Then he has to appoint people, who are able to understand those particular machineries. And then people also should be equally committed. Whatever you are telling, you see, I had one German consultant. So he came to a board meeting and he told, if you want to spend 1 crore of rupees in this particular foundry, you come here, you open this window and throw your money out of the window. This man asked, why, what is the reason? He said, your people are sleeping in the shop floor. When the, afternoon, he said, they are sleeping under the machinery. So when the people are not committed, for him as a German, it was completely unimaginable. I have been to the workshops or shop floors in Germany. There is no need for any supervisor. Each person is self-motivated. So, like you go to Bombay, you see a queuing system there. I'm sure you might have seen in Bombay. But you see so many other places, people push each other. The children are being pushed down, old people, ladies, pregnant ladies. So they are not even considering. So in my opinion, it is a combination and culmination of so many other factors. The people should have the willingness to work, the management. I mean, it is, a amalgamation of so many things put together. There is no one-stop solution which I can spell out. It could be for each person, there could be a different solution. After studying, can be suggested. Yeah.
So maybe it's mostly about the values that we inculcate while growing up and while working, that if we are, a little bit more considerate, a little bit more focused on them, then maybe we can, increase the standard of the industry, is what I understood. Is that correct?
Yeah. See, for instance, there are also clusters. Today you are having industry clusters, like in Shimoga or in particular Coimbatore or Belgaum. So what they do, the cluster themselves, have an association, and all the players, key players come together, whoever is very successful. So then they are inviting specialists, they are inviting, foundry metallurgists, they are talking, the foundry chemicals, there are always some leaders in a particular industry. In each industry you are having a leader. So they are inviting them, and then they are giving, lots of workshops, they are giving lots of, teachings or whatever, your seminars, webinars. So such types of things, it's continuously happening. Whatever is said, that on one side, this is always happening through associations and, yeah.
So associations are actually what you can say is a support system for the industry when it comes to
Yeah.
normal public.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's
Exactly.
great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of people, as far as the young people are also concerned, a lot of them are, getting into the industry. So, what is your opinion on the next gen of the industry and any advice that you would like to give to them?
Yeah. See, many students will know even in their college, school time itself, even by school final itself, they will have some idea what they would like to really become. And
Mm-hmm.
in the college, it becomes much more focused and sharpened.
Mm-hmm.
So, see, generally they say, that after your studies, you go to, an industry for a couple of years, then you go
Mm-hmm.
back to like you typically you take MBA students,
Mm-hmm.
because we used to get interns, like Indian Institute of Management, Trichy. So like that,
Mm-hmm.
some colleges, they depute their students, for internship.
Mm-hmm.
So what they are reading in the book is completely different from what is happening in the reality, on the ground reality.
Oh.
So they have to first go through this particular process, then
Mm-hmm.
what is that they would like to do, whether they would like to continue with post graduation and doctorate, or they would like to come into the particular industry. And then, then they can also have that particular internship or particular training. They will have some learning curve. For instance, if there is entrepreneurial spark is there in a particular student, he would like to
Mm-hmm.
start up an industry, then
Mm-hmm.
he can always go through a particular organization, a good successful organization,
Mm-hmm.
go through each and every link in the value chain, bolts and nuts of it inside out. So they used to say if somebody would like to start a hotel restaurant, first he
Mm-hmm.
should become, in charge of the stores. See, that is
Mm-hmm.
where all the raw materials are coming. He has to manage it very well, because
Mm-hmm.
if he is buying, say, 1,000 rupees worth of provision, that is
Mm-hmm.
converted into a finished product, and then he should get revenue of about 1,500 rupees at least, or 2,000 rupees. We do not know what is the marginal. But like
Mm-hmm.
that, he should be able to know it. If somebody wants to own a particular truck, first he should become a person, who knows the bolts and nuts of a particular truck. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
what happens, if somebody is going to say, sir, my tire has gone flat, my spark plug has, every day there will be some expenses and all his money will be lost in that small loophole. So like that, every person should have inside out. He should know each and every, even without going to the office, he should know, or the factory, he should know what should be the happening here at this particular time. The raw material, becomes a particular stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. So what is the finished product? If there is a scrap generated, whether it is tallying, they are able to arrive at a material balance sheet. So, and
Mm-hmm.
also the costings. So labor, I think, they should have a full view of if they want to run a factory or if they would like to start an enterprise, they should go through the particular training curve. They call it as the learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
So then if they are starting, then then they can even go with some type of consortium, combination of 2, 3 people with then the
Mm-hmm.
team makes much more stronger, equal minded, people. Yeah. And also today, Google is also able to give Quora. You see, you go to internet, everything is today available.
Mm-hmm.
Today, I mean, abundance. I would say the knowledge is available, in abundance. Only thing is they should be ready to receive it.
Yes.
I would like to quote, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He says there are so many gurus available, but it is very hard to find a student. Disciple is the. That means the person should have an open mind. In one Zen Buddhism, they are telling, that Guru will say that he will bring 2 cups. In one is full of water, the cup, other one is
Okay.
empty. So
Mm-hmm.
the empty one is able to receive. The full one, you put water, it is always spilling out. So like that, students, once they keep their mind open,
Mm-hmm.
receptive, I am sure the knowledge, they will be able to attract.
Wow, that is something that if the youth will look into or when they read in the article, they find it really, really interesting and it was knowledgeable. So, sir, that brings us to the end of the interview. It
Very
was
nice.
such a pleasure for us to have you, and you made this interview such a pleasurable experience for the organization and for me as well. So,
Both.
thank you so much for that.
Thank you very much. I also equally enjoyed, it is very rarely, I have interviewed like this. So I am also very happy and thank you.